First of all, now I can finally say, welcome back to Broadway for a run. How does it feel?
God, that feels good to hear that. Just the fact that I'm in this room, I'm talking to you, I'm talking to all these Broadway folks, it's real, you know? I am running out of ways to say how excited I am. I am not a man of few words, so I can think of several hundred to express that feeling, but I'll keep it at that. I'm just so excited I could puke.
You're obsessed with this show, as I was growing up. I mean, where did it all begin, and what does it mean to you to be doing this?
Well, so I would have seen the film because I wasn't living in New York, and I think I was maybe I was a teenager when it was at the Jane Street, and I wasn't living here, so I don't think I would have never been. I couldn't have dragged my parents to that show, although that would have been interesting. I get to drag them to this one.
Totally.
So I saw it when I was 16, 17 years old. My brother and I were really into David Bowie and a lot of glam rock and Velvet Underground, and we got a hold of the soundtrack, and then we saw the film, and just the whole thing is such a ballsy, weird amalgamation of so many different things that I love. I obviously love theater, I love musical theater, but I loved that history, of that part of our rock and roll history, and seeing the two together on the face and heart and soul of this crazy woman thing with attitude and pizzazz. The whole thing was just so audaciously delicious to me. I just love her. I've always loved the character Hedwig, and I truly do believe that Hedwig can be added to the list of the great American theater roles. So it's a privilege to be donning that wig, so to speak, and to be, you know, a part of that narrative. It's just such an honor.
What's it been like working on her so far? What have rehearsals been like?
Rehearsals have been great. There's a lot of people go, you know, you have a lot to learn. I go, yes, okay, but are you going to be okay? And they'll say, yeah, it's going to be fun. So anything that people they don't try to faze me, but things that people say that should faze somebody, I actually just soak it in, and it just makes me more excited, because I love just taking on huge challenges. It's my favorite thing. Having worked on television for just shy of 5 years, it's just so refreshing to jump into something new and different. I had such a wonderful time on that show, but I just really wanted to dive into a different pool, and this is about as different and as fun and as crazy and as left of a turn as I could have made, which it just happens to be a pool that I've been trying to jump into for several years, so it all worked out. But I'm having such a great time. She's such a wonderful person to play because she's feisty, and there's technical pitfalls, I guess, of certain, you know, where the mic goes and chord goes and so forth, but as far as flubbing things, you know, she's in control, and the last piece of the puzzle that will be so incredibly important will be the audience, and so I look forward to finally getting from an audience, and then it's like a car without a road. Like, I need that road to kind of navigate through and to figure out. So I just can't wait until there's an audience there. Because right now it's just me in a black box with associate directors and so forth. So, but it's still fun, even without anything, you know. If nobody showed up, I'd still have a good time.
Have you put the outfit on yet? Have you donned, like, the Hedwig look yet?
Not quite yet, if you can tell. I'm sort of...
No, I was going to say.
Still in rehearsal mode. As funny as it is to joke that I would have the beard for it, I just don't think it'll look as pretty. But if they can cover these eyebrows, they can certainly cover this. I haven't yet, but I've been in the heels every day.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't want to say it's easy, but it's not as bad as one would think. But for the purposes of making this look impressive, it's so hard. It's really hard. I'm really busting my ass. It's fine.
Singing this score.
This is something that, again, I'm careful with my words because I don't want to sound overconfident, because that is a surefire way to not sound good at all. But this does kind of rest a little more in my wheelhouse. I'm a Broadway fan, but I never thought I would ever sing Broadway. Growing up loving Rodgers and Hammerstein, like, I don't have that kind of voice. I don't have a big Broadway voice. I never did. There's no false humility there. I'm a rock and roll singer. That's just how it goes. And so having the mic and having the kind of control over that I do when I play shows and when I get to be in that mode, that is something that I'm more used to. It's exciting to be able to do that on Broadway. Because with How to Succeed, you know, it was hard for me to kind of do the theater thing, and I'm not a classically trained big voice, so I had to rely on the character acting stuff to try and push through that stuff. Whereas this, has so much great character stuff, but the music is all loud and crazy and rock and roll. And I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I'm definitely better at it than the other stuff. So I'm excited.
My final question is, what are you looking forward to the most with returning to Broadway and Hedwig?
Well, being part of this community, everybody says this, but this is such a special community, and it's the best community in the entertainment industry, bar none. I'll fight anybody to the death on that. It's a family. It's good to see familiar, friendly faces. I have a lot of other friends who are also in Broadway shows while I'm doing this show. If we want to talk about the Glee thing, obviously Matt is doing Finding Neverland, and John's in Hamilton. So that feeling of, guys, we're doing it, and talking about our shows afterwards, and there's a familial sort of feeling that pervades everything that I do while I'm in this show. So that I'm so excited for. But I'm just excited to throw this woman in front of people and just blow people's minds. Not with my performance, but with her character.